Hello students, I'm Sai Baba here. So in the previous class in simple harmonic motion, so I have discussed some special cases in SHM. So in this class, I am going to discuss one more special case in simple harmonic motion. So I will be discussing the next special case in simple harmonic motion. After that, I will be discussing about the reference circle. So let us first, I would like to discuss the special case. That is one more special case in simple harmonic motion, continuation to the earlier cases. You first concentrate only to listen to my discussion. Don't write running notes when I am explaining. So after my discussion is completed, I will be showing you the notes in PowerPoint presentation as usual. Then you can write the notes. So let us consider a non-viscous liquid which is contained in a U-tube with uniform area of cross section. Let us consider a non-viscous liquid contained in a U-tube with uniform area of cross section. Of course, the students will be able to draw the diagram in a better way by making use of scale and compass box. But I am drawing the diagram in a rough way. Let us suppose the area of cross section is uniform here, denoted by capital A. And let H denote the vertical height of the liquid column on one side when it is in equilibrium. Let H denote the vertical height of the liquid in each limb when it is in equilibrium. That means total length of the liquid column in the tube is 2H. It can be shown that the liquid in one of the limbs, if it is slightly, the liquid in one of the limbs is slightly pressed down and released. And the particles of the liquid perform simple harmonic motion about their original equilibrium positions. I am going to discuss the calculation of the time period of simple harmonic motion of the particles of the liquid in terms of this H and the value of acceleration to gravity at the given place. So here H represents the vertical height of the length of the liquid in each limb in equilibrium position. Suppose if the liquid in one of the limbs, for example, liquid in the right limb is pressed down by a small distance and released. When the liquid in the right limb goes down by distance y below its equilibrium position, then the liquid in the left limb will rise vertically by same distance y above its equilibrium position. That means a new vertical height between the levels of the liquid in the two limbs becomes 2y. So if the liquid in the limb on the right hand side is slightly pressed down by distance y below the equilibrium position and released, then the liquid in the limb on the left hand side will rise by the same distance y above the equilibrium position. So that in the new position, that means the level of the liquid in the left limb will be exceed the level of the liquid in the right limb by 2y. I mean vertical height between the levels of liquid, new levels of liquid in the two limbs becomes 2y. Therefore, magnitude of the unbalanced force The magnitude of the unbalanced force which acts on the liquid in the tube at the instant when the difference in the heights of the liquid columns becomes 2y, you could weight of this liquid of height 2y, that is mass of liquid column of length 2y into g. That is weight of the liquid column of height 2y can be written as mass of the liquid column of height 2y into g. Mass of the liquid column of height 2y is equal to volume of the liquid column of length 2y into density of the liquid. Let D subscript L or rho denote the density of the liquid, or D can also write it as DL into G. So volume of the liquid column of length 2y, you can write A into 2y. Density of the liquid can be denoted by rho or D subscript L. A, the area of cross section of the tube here. So from Newton's second law, magnitude of the instantaneous acceleration. From Newton's second law, magnitude of the instantaneous acceleration of the particles of the liquid can be written as magnitude of the unbalanced force on the liquid column by mass of the liquid column. I mean total mass of liquid in the U-tube. So magnitude of unbalanced force on the liquid column can be written as A into 2y into dl into g. Total mass of the liquid is equal to volume of the liquid into density of the liquid. Total volume of the liquid, including the liquid in both the limbs, will be A into 2h. Because total length of the liquid column is 2h into area. This is the total volume of the liquid in the two limbs into density of the liquid. Gives a mass of liquid in the two limbs. So magnitude of the acceleration you get here from this, A gets cancelled, dl gets cancelled. You get y by g by h. So for the liquid particles in the left limb, the displacement from equilibrium position is in the upward direction, but acceleration will be directed downwards because weight of the liquid column of length 2y acts downwards. That means the acceleration will be opposite to the displacement y from equilibrium position. So mathematically we can write A equal to minus g by h into y. So the acceleration of the particles of the liquid will be, instantaneous acceleration proportional to the displacement y from equilibrium position and acts opposite to the displacement y from the equilibrium position. Therefore, particles of the liquid perform simple harmonic motion. So the instantaneous acceleration simple harmonic motion can be written in the form minus omega square into y. So from this you get omega square equal to g by h, or omega is equal to root of g by h. So the time period of simple harmonic oscillations is given by 2 pi by omega. So substitute this value of omega here, you get 2 pi into root of h by g. So next I am going to show you the notes for this case in a systematic way on the screen, the printed form or typed form. So those who are writing the notes now, again get ready with your notebook and pen. I am going to show you the notes. First I will be showing you the conclusion. Later I will show you the working. So look at the screen here, conclusion first. Let small h denote the vertical height of non-viscous liquid in each limb of a U-tube in equilibrium. Suppose if liquid in one of the limbs is slightly pressed down and released, then the liquid particles perform simple harmonic motion about their equilibrium position with a time period given by T equal to point root of h by g. Come on, finish writing the conclusion first in your regular class. Regular notes. Better keep a separate notebook for my notes. Don't mix up your college notes or school notes with this. You can take a pause and finish writing this conclusion first. Next, I will be showing you the working for the conclusion, which I have explained. Here, h is the vertical height of the liquid in each limb of the U-tube in equilibrium position. As explained before, when the liquid in the limb on the right side is pressed down by distance y below the equilibrium position, then the liquid in the left limb rises by a vertical distance y above its original equilibrium position. So in the new situation, the difference in the vertical height of the liquid column in the two limbs becomes 2y. Then magnitude of unbalanced force on the liquid is equal to mass of liquid of length 2y multiplied by acceleration due to gravity. Mass of liquid column of length 2y can write volume of the liquid is density of liquid. dl is density of liquid. Volume of the liquid column of length 2y is equal to a into 2y, as explained before. So unbalanced force you can write minus 2a y dlg. The negative sign is used here because this weight of the liquid column of length 2y acts vertically downwards, but for particles of the liquid in the left limb, displacement y from equilibrium position is upwards. That means unbalanced force on the liquid column acts opposite displacement y from equilibrium position. So come on, you finish writing the notes up here. You can take a pause. You take a pause and finish writing the notes up here. So I'm going to show the continuation for this. So instantaneous acceleration is equal to resultant force by mass from Newton's second law. Then you can write it as resultant force on the liquid column minus 2a dlg into I by m. M is the mass of the liquid column of length 2h. That you can write as volume of the liquid column of length 2h into density of liquid. The volume of the liquid column of length 2h is a into 2h. So you get a equal minus gy by h. Come on, all of you can take a pause and please finish writing the notes up to this step. And take a pause and finish writing the notes up to this step. Next, I would like to show the continuation for this. A is proportional to minus y, but A equal to minus omega square y in simple harmonic motion. So you get minus omega square y equal to minus gy by h. Omega is root of g by h. Therefore, time period is given by 2 pi by omega. You can substitute this value of omega here. We get 2 pi into root of h by g. Come on, finish writing the working up to here. So with this, I have finished some special cases in basic simple harmonic, special case of linear simple harmonic motion. So next, I am going to discuss about differential method to discuss the motion of simple harmonic motion. That means if you observe the, the question paper set for board exams, intermediate board exam, or in Andhra Pradesh, or in other board exams, even in 11th class board exam papers. Number of times, one question you find repeatedly in the long answer questions in the past papers. That is to show that the projection of a particle performing uniform circular motion on one of the diameters is simple harmonic. Again, I repeat, there is one question which I observed number of times in the board exam papers, in theory questions, I mean, to prove that you are asked to show that projection of a particle performing uniform circular motion on one of the diameters is simple harmonic. And from there, you are asked to derive the expression for velocity of a particle in the simple harmonic motion. So, not only just for sake of board exam, it is better, you must know how we can discuss the simple harmonic motion as the projection of the particle performing uniform circular motion, one of the diameters of a circle, which we call reference circle. Because there are some numerical problems which I am going to discuss later, next, either in this class or next class, based on using the reference circle method also. First, you concentrate to listen. Later, you can copy the conclusion which I am going to show on the screen. So, as I was discussing that it can be shown that if a particle performs uniform circular motion, then the projection of the particles on one of the diameters performs linear simple harmonic motion with the displacement amplitude A. So this is the conclusion. Of course, I will discuss the proof also, mathematical proof for this. But whether you have to definitely remember the conclusion also. Not only for competitive examinations, even for you're expected to know for board exams also. If a particle moves in a circular path of radius capital A, I have given in the form of a note. That means a conclusion to remember. Again, I repeat. The particle moves in a circular path of radius capital A with constant angular speed omega. When the projection of the particle on one of the diameters performs linear simple harmonic motion with the displacement amplitude capital A and angular frequency omega with a time period given by t equal to 2 pi by omega. So, as I was telling you, that there was one question which was given number of times in the board exam papers in the past to show that projection of a particle performing uniform circular motion on one of the diameters simple harmonic. So I am going to discuss that part now. If you want to copy this conclusion, which I have shown on the screen, you can take a pause and copy this conclusion. So let us consider a particle moving in the circular path with uniform angular speed omega. Let us consider a particle moving in the circular path in the plane of the diagram in anti-clockwise direction with uniform angular speed omega. Let us suppose A is the radius of the circular path. Of course, the students can draw the diagram more legibly with the help of a compass box. So let us consider a particle moving in the circular path of radius denoted by capital A with uniform angular speed denoted by omega, performing uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, as I discussed earlier in general circular motion, the angular velocity remains constant, angular speed remains constant. Let x dash yx denote one of the diameters of the circle, and yo y dash represents another diameter of the circle, which is perpendicular to the first diameter x dash yx. Let us start timing when the particle moving in the circular path crosses the end x of the diameter at t equal to 0. Let us suppose the particle moves from this end x to some point p in the circle in time t. Let theta be the angular displacement of the particle in time t. Let theta denote the angular displacement of the particle in time t. Let us drop a perpendicular from the point P on one of the diameters of the circle. Let n be the foot of the perpendicular dropped from the point P along one of the diameters of the circle. That means x dash yx is one of the diameter of the circle, n is the foot of the perpendicular dropped from the point P on one of the diameters. So x dash yx is one of the diameters, we can take it as x-axis, y dash represents another diameter perpendicular to the first diameter, we can take it as y-axis. That means let x comma y denote the Cartesian coordinates of the particle with respect to center of the circle as the origin, and we take the plane of circle in the xy plane. That means the distance from O to n equal to x. Similarly, if you drop a perpendicular from the point P on the other diameter y dash, perpendicular diameter, let m be the or n dash be the projection of this particle on the other diameter y dash. That means yn dash equal to y. So from the figure, the triangle OPN cos theta can be written as ON by OP, or you can write ON equal to OP cos theta. Theta is the angular displacement of the particle moving in the circular path in a time interval t. So in uniform circular motion, the angular speed omega can be written as theta by t. Theta is the magnitude of angular displacement of the particle in the time interval t. So you can write theta equal to omega into t. So ON can be written as x here. So I get x equal to OP equal to radius of circle a cos omega t. So substitute theta equal to omega t. Now, when the particle moving in the circular path in the anti-clockwise direction with uniform angular speed omega moves from the end x of the diameter x dash yx to the end y of the diameter y dash. That means when it completes 1/4 of the revolution, 1/4 of the revolution, the projection of this particle on the diameter x dash yx moves from x to O. That means when the particle moving in the circular path is at the end x of the diameter x dash yx, the projection of the particle will also be at the same point. When the particle moving in the circular path moves from the end x of the diameter x dash yx to the point P, the projection of the particle moves from the end x to the point N. When the particle moving the circular path comes to the point Y, that is one of the ends of the other diameter y dash, Then the projection of the particle comes to O. So when the particle moving in the circular path moves from Y to X dash, this projection of the particle on this diameter X dash Yx moves from X dash to O. The particle moving circular path is here, projection of the particle will be here. The particle moving in the circular path comes to this point, projection of the particle will be here. When the particle in the circular path, moving in the circular path comes to this point, the projection of the particle will on the diameter will be here. That means during when the particle moving in the circular path completes half revolution along the circle, semicircle x dash, x, y, x dash, the projection of the particle along completes half of the oscillation. So when the particle moving in the circular path moves in the anticlockwise direction from x dash to x along the semicircular path with uniform angular speed, the projection of the particle moves along the diameter from x dash to x. That means when the particle performing uniform circular motion completes one revolution in the circular path, the projection of the particle on one of the diameters, say along the diameter x dash yx, we can say it completes one oscillation. That means the point n moves from end x of the diameter to the other end x dash, then again comes back to same end x. That means during the time interval, when the particle moving in the circular path completes one revolution, the projection of the particle on the diameter x dash yx completes one oscillation. That means the time period of oscillation for the projection of the particle on one of the diameters is same as the time period of revolution of the particle moving in the circular path, which is given by 2 pi by omega. For the particle moving in the circular path, we can write omega equal to 2 pi by capital T, or T equal to 2 pi by omega. The T is the time period of revolution of the particle moving in the circular path. So time period of oscillation for the projection of the particle along one of the diameters, same as the time period of revolution of the particle in the circular path, which is given by 2 pi by omega. So if you instantaneous velocity of the particle is given by dx by t. I mean instantaneous velocity of the projection of the particle on another diameter, not the velocity of the particle moving in the circular path. The magnetic velocity of the particle moving in the circular path will have magnitude equal to a into omega. Radius of circular path into r omega, that is a omega. It acts along the tangent circular path. So you can arrive at the expression of velocity by two methods. One method is by the calculus method. Other method is the finding the component of velocity. Let us first choose the calculus method. Instantaneous velocity of the point m can be written as dx by dt. This you can write. You can substitute x equal to a cos omega t. Because a is the radius of circular path, the constant, you can put outside the derivative symbol. D by dt of cos omega. Earlier I told you d by dt of cos omega t can be written as minus omega into sin omega t. So instantaneous velocity, you can write minus a omega into sin omega t. Then arrive at the same expression by another way also. The velocity of the particle moving the circular path at any instant will be along the tangent to the circle at that instant. It has magnitude r omega. R is the radius of circular path. Here r can be written as a omega. We can consider the component of this velocity. I am showing a separate figure showing the components of velocity of the particle moving in the circular path parallel to the diameter x dash yx and other diameter yo y dash. This angle is theta. This velocity acts along the tangent to circle, means perpendicular to the radius A. So this angle is again theta. So this velocity makes, velocity of the particle moving in circular path has magnitude A omega, which is along tangent circular path. That makes an angle 90 minus theta, with the line parallel to the diameter x dash yx. This angle. This is theta again. So component of velocity of the particle moving in the circular path parallel to, that is velocity parallel to diameter yx is equal to A omega cos 90 minus theta. But this velocity, this component of velocity parallel to the diameter x dash x is directed towards left side. We give positive sign for displacement for the projection of the particle on diameter x dash x towards right side. That means the direction towards right side would give positive sign. Then direction towards left side will be given negative. That means the component of velocity of the particle moving in the circular path parallel to the diameter x dash x is directed towards left side. Opposite to this x displacement of point n. It's with respect to center of circular path. So we can put a negative sign. Cos omega 90 minus theta, you can write sin theta. And sin theta you can write omega t. That means I have arrived same conclusion. Here I have done with the calculus method. Here I have considered another method without using calculus. This method is usually taught for biology group students for a derivation of velocity of the particle performing simple harmonic motion. Now to calculate the acceleration. Also, these methods probably discussed in almost all the regular board textbooks. Next, we will discuss the calculation of the acceleration. So, if you go by the first method, the acceleration of the point n, acceleration of the projection of the particle moving in the circular path on one of the diameters, equal rate of v is the velocity of the point n. Here v represents the velocity of point n. The instant acceleration of the point n dv by dt. Can write v equal to minus a omega into sin omega t. Because a omega is a constant, you can put outside the derivative symbol. Minus a omega into d by dt of sin omega t. d by dt of sin omega t can be written as omega into cos omega t. So that you can write minus omega square into a cos omega t. So the starting equation we have written x equal to a cos omega t. So that is instantaneous acceleration of the point n. From this step, you can write a equal to minus omega square into x. That means instantaneous acceleration of the point n is proportional to the displacement x of the point n from the center of oscillation O, but acts opposite to the displacement x from center of oscillation O. As I discussed in the past, the oscillatory motion of a particle can be called as simple harmonic motion if its instantaneous acceleration is directed toward the center of oscillation and proportional to the displacement x from center of oscillation. You can observe that instantaneous acceleration of the point n represents the projection of the particle moving in the circular path with uniform angular speed on one of the diameters. So the instantaneous acceleration of this projection of the particle on one of the diameters is proportional to the displacement x from center of oscillations, but acts opposite to the displacement x from center of oscillation. Therefore, you can conclude that the point n performs simple harmonic motion. That means, in general, if a particle moves in the circular path with uniform angular speed, I mean performs uniform circular motion, and the projection of the particle in one of the diameters is simple harmonic, and the time period of oscillation for simple harmonic motion along one of the diameters, same as the time period of revolution of for the particle in uniform circular motion. Then there is this expression for acceleration by the alternate method also by considering the component of the centripetal acceleration for the particle in uniform circular motion parallel to one of the diameters. I consider that method also. So again, considering the uniform circular motion here, reference circle, the circular path along which we consider the circle which we are showing in the figure, we call it as reference circle. That means simple harmonic motion can be considered as the projection of a particle in uniform circular motion on one of the diameters of circle. The circle which we consider, we call it a reference circle. Here, as I discussed here, the particle is moving in the circular path in the anti-clockwise direction in the plane of the diagram with uniform angular speed omega. The radius of the circular path is equal to A, which is same as the displacement amplitude for the projection of the particle on one of the diameters. So this instantaneous acceleration for a particle in uniform circular motion will be directed along the radius of circular path and towards center of circular path, as I discussed in general circular motion, which has a magnitude r omega square. Here instead of r, you can write it as A. So omega square into A. So we'll find the component of this acceleration parallel to one of the diameters of the circle. So component of this acceleration in this direction, that means component of centripetal acceleration parallel to diameter x dash yx. That means acceleration at the point n which moves along the diameter of the circle, reference circle. N is the project, as I discussed earlier, N is called the projection of the particle moving in the circular path on one of the diameters. Acceleration at the point n is nothing but a component of acceleration, centripetal acceleration parallel to diameter x dash yx. This component is directed towards left side. That means opposite to the displacement x of the point n from its center of oscillation. So component, this centripetal acceleration makes an angle theta with the line parallel to the diameter x dash yx. So magnitude of the component of centripetal acceleration can write omega square A cos theta. But this component of acceleration, centripetal acceleration parallel to the diameter directed towards left side. That means acceleration at the point n is directed towards left side, opposite to the displacement x from center of oscillation. Therefore, you can put a negative sign. X can be written as, cos theta can be written as omega into t. So A cos omega t or A cos theta equals to x. So acceleration at the point n at any instant can be written in the form minus omega square x or A is proportional to n. That means this is the alternate method for arriving the expression for acceleration in simple harmonic motion, which I discussed in some of the earlier textbooks. So finally, the conclusion of my discussion I have already shown in the beginning, which again I want to show it. So the same conclusion which I have shown before earlier, I want to again show it, and I want to solve some problems based using this reference circle method also. look at the conclusion again. I read out. If a particle moves in a circular path of radius capital A with constant angular speed omega, and the projection of the particle on one of the diameters performs linear simple harmonic motion, the displacement amplitude capital A and angular frequency omega with the time period given by capital T equal to 2 pi by omega. If you want to copy the conclusion, you can take a pause and copy the conclusion. Next, I am going to show some problems which you can solve by using this reference circle method. I will solve one of these problems now and the remaining problems in my next class. Look at the screen for the problems. This is problem number 6. There are a number of parts in problem number 6. I am going to solve the first part. The particle performs SHM along x-axis about the origin between the points x equal to minus a and x equal to plus a with the time period capital T. What is the time taken in terms of capital T by the particle to move directly from first part of question x equal to minus a by 2 to x equal to plus a by 2. So the simple harmonic question can be considered the projection of the particle on one of the diameters. I mean, simple harmonic can be considered projection of the particle perform uniform circular motion on one of the diameters. So if you consider the particle moving in the circular path with uniform angular speed omega and time period of revolution equal to capital T, then the simple harmonic motion can be considered the projection of the particle uniform circular motion the same time period on one of the diameters of circle. So the radius of the reference circle is same as the displacement amplitude for the projection of the particle on one of the diameters, which is denoted by A. So at one extreme position x equal to minus A, the other extreme position we write x equal to plus A. At the mean position x is 0. You have to find the time taken by the particle performing SHM to move from the point where we write x equal to minus a by 2 to the point, let P1 be the position of the particle at x equal to minus a by 2 and P2 be the position of the particle at x equal to plus a by 2. So they're asked to find time taken to move from this point P1 to P2. So therefore, let us consider the particle in uniform circular motion. The particle uniform circular motion moves from P to Q. And the particle in uniform circular motion moves from the point P to the point Q on the circular path. The projection of the particle on one of the diameters moves from P1 to P2. So we can find this angle. Let us call this angle by alpha. So here in this at angle triangle, this length is equal to a by 2. So sine alpha you can write. This distance is a by 2. P2 is the position of the particle at which x is a by 2. Sine alpha equal to a by 2 divided by a or 1 by 2. So alpha is 30 degrees, or if you convert into radian, that is pi by 6 radian. So this will be also equal to pi by 6 radian. That means during the time the particle performing SHM on one of the diameters moves from P1 to P2. The particle uniform circular motion moves from P to Q. So what is angular displacement for the particle in uniform circular motion in the same time when it moves from P to Q? So you try to find this angular displacement for the particle in uniform circular motion, this angle. So here we got this angle as this angle, you call it a theta. So time taken is theta by omega. Theta equal omega t. I mean for particle uniform circular motion, t can be theta by omega. What is angular displacement of the particle uniform circular motion? That you try to observe. So you find this angle is theta. So this will be theta by 2. This is this radius. This is equal to radius A, and this is also equal to radius A. This is A by 2. So theta by 2. So sin alpha is nothing but equal to theta by 2. Sin alpha or sin theta by 2 equal to A by 2. So theta equal to 2 alpha. Omega can be written as 2 pi by time period. Now we can write alpha equal to pi by 6. So you get the answer as capital T by 6. So in next class, I will be solving the same problem again by a different method also without using reference circle. And I will be discussing some more problems of same type. So don't get worried even if you are unable to understand the solution of this problem. I will continue this discussion next class.